Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Marcia. This channel is about repurposing, taking old and making it new again. This is my second video on this channel. If you haven't seen that first video, I'll leave a link below in the description box, so you might want to check that out. Today we're going to do a necklace, and as you can see, I've pretty much done it. I didn't want to have you sit and watch me string beads. I'm going to explain it best I can, and we'll finish it off together on the camera. And yes, you know I have to do a pair of earrings to match. I am going to insert a picture of the before piece. These beads that I used on this, of course, if you saw my first video, you recognize these pearls. I had a bunch of them left over, and I incorporated them in this necklace. But these beads, they have that peacock, I don't know if it's the same as blue iris, but blue iris, peacock, you know, it's the multicolored oil slick, I think some people refer to these by that name. But anyway, it was one of those bracelets that had the magnetic beads. And I don't like these magnetic beads. I know people do, and magnets are good therapy. I'm not disputing that. I just don't like these the way they're put together on these types of bracelets. You'll see what I mean in the picture. So anyway, these are all of the magnetic beads that were on this wrap bracelet that I took apart to create this. We're using stringing wire for this project today, and it comes in different sizes if you're not familiar with it. There's a 7-strand, which means there are 7, well, you can see the picture there. There are 7 strands of wire that is then nylon coated, and it makes it very flexible for these types of necklaces. They come in a 7-strand, a 19-strand, and a 49-strand, and as the numbers go up, so does the price. I just happen to have a great big roll of this, and that's what I'm going to use. The beads are lightweight, so this will handle it. 19 is right in the middle, and that can handle most beads. If you get into heavier gemstones, glass beads, something like that, then you want to go to the 49 strand. But anyway, I'll explain to you what I did, and like I said, I didn't want to have you sit for a long period of time watching me string these beads. But I cut a piece of the stringing wire, almost, oh my goodness, looks like I've got almost a foot extra. You don't really need that much, but I wasn't sure how long I was going to make this necklace. So it is better to have too much. Maybe you can use, you know, this is enough I could probably use when I snip it off, use in a bracelet, or smaller pieces you can use to make earrings. The teardrop earrings with the beads, so it won't go to waste. I just wanted to make sure I had enough. Like I said, the beads that came off of the magnetic bracelet, these beads here, I strung them starting with 1 wire. I strung them down here. This is part 2. That's the, you know, you don't start with this. You don't do it all together. It's first this outer string, the longest string of the necklace. And I strung these, and these beads, I don't think they were a part of anything. I think they were loose. Or they were loose when I found them, so if they were a part of something, I had already taken it apart. And there were 3 of them. Only 3. And if you, as you can see, there's the greens, the blues, the purples. It's all in there, and I just thought they went so well with the, and I'm not sure you can really see the changing colors in these small beads. Well, maybe right there you can see a touch of green or blue, or green and blue, honestly. I just thought it went well, and I thought, oh, that'd be a nice whimsical piece. And I wanted to use up these green glass beads, pearls, also. So anyway, that's what I did. I started, I spread my piece out, and I started in the middle by putting this piece on, and then I worked my way out. And in between these 2 beads are 12 of the fire polish beads. 6 on one side of the pearl and 6 on the other side of the pearl. And then this bead, and then I did 12 here and the pearl, and then 12, then the pearl, and then the additional length that I needed. And I think I measured this to be 22 inches, this outside piece. So anyway, so this is the centerpiece, and like I said, there were 6 beads on either side of it, the pearl, and then 6 beads, then the other 2. What do you call those? I have no idea. They're like, is it a spiral? I don't know. They're twisted beads. And then I came up the side, and whatever amount of beads that I had on this side, I mimicked on this side. Well, with that being done, I just thought this was too plain. It needed something else, and I didn't know if I should do chain. I mean, I reconfigured this several times, and that's what you do when you are making jewelry, designing pieces. Yeah, you start with beads that you like, and you combine them and compare them up with other beads that are compatible, and then you just play. You mix and match, you put them down. If you don't like it, you start over. Normally I do this on a bead board, but this time I actually put it on here. So I did take things off and on and off quite a bit until I got this last configuration. So anyway, I put a toggle. I'm using a toggle. And this is a toggle I had, so not everything that I'm using was in a jewelry jar or bag. There are some new parts to this, as the string is definitely, I'm not saying you couldn't find this in a jewelry jar, because we all know you can find some pretty odd things. But I didn't. This was provided by me, as was the clasp. But all of these beads were found in a jewelry bag. So I thought, because of the dark tones of the beads, I'd go with a gunmetal clasp. And I've already taken my wire 2 strands up, put a crimp bead on, brought my 2 strands back down through, and I'll explain it on the other, I'll show it actually on the other side, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But underneath, this is a crimp cover. This top bead right here is a crimp cover. Underneath that is my crimp bead, and I just have 2 strands of the beading wire to hold my ring for the clasp. I would have used a wire guardian, but it wouldn't fit through that hole. So I didn't. Okay. So anyway, after I finished this outside edge, and I really got ahead of myself with the clasp, but like I said, I decided it needed something else. So I reconfigured it. I got the beads, used the rest of these beads, and I really had to play with this a while. I couldn't do like this every, 6 pearl, 6 fire polish, and so on here. So I did an alternating of pearl and fire polish right in the front. And then I did 6 and a purl, 6 and a purl, all the way up to here, where I took the string. I don't know if you saw that. Up to here where I took the string, and I failed to mention that I did put a small silver bead on this strand prior to going to this into this bead. Once I realized I was going to put another one, because you need to decrease, or it's better if you decrease to a smaller bead when you're going from 2 into 1 strand. It helps it flow better. But once I got this strand, all the beads on this strand, again, I took this small bead and put it here, and then I passed this through the purl and up through all of these beads. So up here at the end, I have 2 wires to connect. And I'm going to show you how I did that. So I hope I made that clear. Each strand was separate, but then you end up putting them together. So anyway, I've got this. You want to lay your piece out, and I'm not going to be able to show you, I don't think, on this, but you lay it out the way you'll be wearing it. Get it laying flat, and you don't want a lot of buckle in it, so you don't want it too tight, but you don't want it too loose either, because then you'll see the stringing wire. Anyway, you lay it down, and I'm holding this end as I do this. Tug on each string until, it looks right. I know you can't see this, it's too big. Okay, I raised my camera a little bit because I do want you to see what I'm talking about. While you're holding this in, you make sure that the beads are sitting the way you want them, right? And I'll probably have to do that again. I have my ends pretty much the same length. So what we're going to do right now is add a crimp bead. This is a crimp tube, as a matter of fact. It's not a crimp bead. A crimp bead is round, and a crimp tube is elongated like this. I mean, they're both beads, but one's called a bead and one's called a tube. So I put that on there, and I'm going to let that drop all the way down. Again, check my beads, make sure I didn't lose any tension. I'm going to bring this around like this. Now what you need to do is pick up the other end of your clasp, and that's the bar of my toggle, and let that drop down. And then you want to go back down the crimp tube. Okay, and I am going to go down several. I'll go down as many beads as I can. I know a lot of people say, if you crimp it well, you can cut it off right at the crimp. I don't like to do that. And these are people that have done it a time and time again, and I'm sure it is fine, but I guess I'm always thinking, nope, I'd rather be safe. So I brought it down, probably more beads than I need, but 8. Take that one off. So I brought it down 8 beads, right? And now we're going to get rid of the excess. Make sure that you've got we want to close this up to where you only have a little bit. Make sure the wire, okay, that looks good. Get down a little bit more. I don't want a whole lot. Make sure my beads are staying in a good position. I'd like to get that a little closer. Maybe like that. Okay. Now holding this, I am going to, I need to get my crimp tool. I think we're good there. So this is what you do. You take the back, there's 2 notches. Well, if you do this, you can see there's 2 holes. You use the second hole in, and this is going to crimp. I want to do it this way because I want my crimp in back. Make sure you got the crimp bead in there. And you smash it. Did I get my, yeah, I got it. And it puts a little crimp, kind of folds it up a little bit, and then you're going to turn it over and use the first hole. This is twisting on me, sorry. The first hole, and if you can see that little channel that the first crimp made, you close that up. So you end up with a tube, only smaller. And it should, I'm going to do it one more time just to make sure. Okay, that should be pretty secure. And now you can snip these off. I hope that was all on camera and understandable, because I can't do it again. So I'm going to need my snippers. Got my wire cutters, and I'm going to snip this off as close as I can without getting that wire that I don't want to cut. Oh, I wonder if I need to sharpen these or buy new ones, because this is not. Get another pair. I can't believe that those would be dull. Okay. See, and it's not quite 12 inches, but it's quite a bit, and I can use that, like I said, for a bracelet. So here we go. We got the 2 ends done. I just need to add the crimp cover to this side, and I just happen to have one right here. And what you do with that is pick up my pliers are magnetic, have been magnetized on the end. So you pick up the cover and place it over the crimp bead, crimp tube, and smash it down. A little bit at a time until you have it completely closed up. Still see a little bit. That's pretty good. All right. Well, let me measure this. Oh, that's not as long as I thought it was. Oh, I'm measuring the wrong one. Let's see. So that is yeah, about almost 23 inches, the outside. And the inside, I think I measured 19 inches. I'll go from here, 15, and this, yeah, about 19 inches. So this comes down about 19 inches. This is almost 23 inches with the clasp. So there you have it. I just thought the beads were interesting. Like I said, I don't like those magnetic wrap bracelets. But there was nothing wrong with these beads. I like fire polish beads, that's for sure. And these do have that color change of the blue, the greens, the purples, just like this. So, there you have it. That's the necklace. Now, very simple earring. That's what we're going to make to go with it. These are the cutest little lever back. I've never seen a round one before. I usually see the elongated ones, but you really, I don't know if you could wear this if you have large earlobes, heavy earlobes, thick, you know. Mine are kind of medium, but I know some people have very thin earlobes and some people have very thick. I mean, it's just nature. So you may not be able to wear these, but I guess small to average earlobe size would be fine. So, okay. Let's do the earring. Again, we start with, and really, I did this so many times last week. You start with the head pin. I put one of the fire polish beads on. I put the pearl on. I put another fire polish bead on. And I bend it over. 90-degree angle. Like that. And again, I use the space between the end of the bead and the beginning of my nail. That's how I judge. It turns out to be close to 1/4 of an inch, so that works for me. And I failed to mention the last time, I usually hold one side of the earring with these 2 fingers, and I hold the piece that I'm cutting with these 2 fingers, because if you don't, this piece will go flying. You may or may not find it. Ask me how I know. I'm having to go after everything. I really was not prepared. I just wanted to hurry up and get it done. Alrighty, so we've got this. And same as with the other earrings, you just grab it. Make sure it's not coming past the edge of the pliers, and you make your loop. And you twist it. I'm telling you, I don't know what the gauge is on these ear wires, but they are heavier than most. I can tell you that. I think I'm used to working with sterling silver, and they are usually 22, 24 gauge, something like that. Okay, so we've got our little dangle portion. And now on these, I don't know if I want to do, I'd rather do this. I don't trust this. This you can open up, I think. You know, you It has a split in it, but I feel more comfortable opening this up. And again, you twist it toward you or twist it away from you, but never open anything by pulling it out. It will, one, alter the shape, and it may or may not go back. You have to play with it, but anyway, so that's it. That's it. We have a nice little set. I like it because it's green. I like other colors besides green. I really do. I love every color, but you know, I just gravitate more toward green. I think, you know, if you look in nature, everything, the backdrop for nature is green. You know, you've got your green leaves, the grass, the, you know, leaves on the flowers. I mean, and all different shades. So this is this week's project. I still have other things in the works. I'll be back with that another piece. I might use that closer to maybe St. Patrick's Day, because the piece I'm talking about, it's a pendant and it has a green stone in it, and it's actually a piece I think made in Ireland. So I'm going to repurpose that. So that'll be coming up. So, but for now, we'll keep it. It's rather long, but it's a simple thing, and I'm sure once I cut out all my talking, it will cut down considerably. But anyway, if you have any questions, I hope this has been clear for you. But if not, and you do have questions, leave me a comment. You know, I am no expert. I am self-taught, but I have been making jewelry for about 12 years, and I've learned a few things along the way. And if I can share that with anyone else, I'd be more than happy to. So that's it for this video. We'll be back hopefully next week, but we will be back on the next video. We will be doing another project, and I'll be showing you how you can reuse some of those odd pieces that you get in jewelry drawers. So until that time, please take care of yourself.